Yes, indeed. Back here with Shivu, and I've got a guest here for us. Um, this is someone who's a fixture in the Melbourne city. This is someone who's born and raised in Victoria. He is the part of the heart and soul of this great city, what I call the most livable city in the world, the most family oriented city. And his name's Ricky, Little Ricky, some might call him. He's a good lad. He's really a solid and good bloke. We've had many good adventures, and he has his 2 cents to add. He's got something to add to the story, into the collective, and yeah, happy to have him here. G'day, Ricky.
How you going, Shiv? It's quite an introduction there. Yeah, certainly from Melbourne.
Definitely,
Yes,
definitely.
enjoy this place. Enjoy Melbourne quite a lot.
That's it. That's it. Oh, what's not to enjoy? I was just saying before, Melbourne in the autumn time is a beautiful time in life.
Absolutely beautiful city.
You take a walk around from Carlton Gardens where the leaves are all over. They're that perfect tan, rusty color. Walk down Spring Street, and then you by then you've got a coffee in your hand, and then you've made your way over to Collins Street. You've seen someone wearing a very fancy coat at this moment, and you know you're having a good one at that time. So this is yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of life in Melbourne.
Yeah, you were someone, you're someone who's got a lot of good philosophical knowledge and is quite spiritual. Tell me about like how you've seen the cost of living evolve here, like especially as someone who takes your health quite seriously. Have you seen like on good on
Yeah, eating well, there's a lot of my take on it. Everyone's got a different take on eating well, but I guess in my case, there's a lot of seasonal stuff, and a little bit of adaptability has to go in there as well. Ideally, you're not compromising for anything other than what you actually want, I guess, but that's usually not the case. So, as far as cost of living is concerned, you're working around that, and hopefully the basics of eating well are somewhat outside of the crazy price rises and falls.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not always the case. Sometimes the things that you go, that's just good food that should be spared from as much craziness as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it gets involved in that, and
like a good full cream farm style milk, or some lovely Manuka honey.
Yeah. I mean, so I try to at least keep the basics of a good amount of vegetables and meat as well, and dairy. They're sort of my favourites. I'm obviously not vegetarian or anything like that.
I think it shows. I mean, you're someone who'd be in like quite good shape, and you're quite robust in terms of, I've never seen you sick. You're someone who's always kept himself like in quite tip-top shape, as even during the winters. So whatever you're doing is working, and it's also just be mindful about, I guess, like whole ingredients. Try not to have anything too processed. We are not, like, full disclaimer, we are not nutritionists, and you should seek nutritional advice, but we're talking from a perspective of what's worked for us as modern day people in this new age. Whole foods, okay? The least processed foods as you can get. Try not to overcook things as well. If you're sitting there and you're boiling down a bunch of vegetables, you're losing a lot of nutrients as well. Just keep that in mind. Maybe lightly char grill them and get them into the pan after that, and quick saute. But don't overboil things or overcook things. Eat your meat in moderation. Keep the fish up. Like, we're blessed in this lucky country. We're surrounded by very good quality waters, and we have trout, and we've got salmon, and we've got snapper as well. So there's no shortage of good fresh fish all over this country. So it's not like you're limited to frozen options. So
yeah, that's right. And I guess it's been realistic about how easy it is to actually improve on what just comes from
Mm.
you know, the relatively natural process these days.
Mm.
There's pretty much no food that hasn't been
Yeah.
affected by the way we live our lives and the way we compromise to live our lives. But it's still, just being realistic about how easy is it to actually improve on basic milk or basic vegetables or anything, And so as far as processing, it's just being realistic about, is this actually making the food better for my health, or is it some, part of something else that maybe has, you wouldn't choose to be a part of, I guess.
Yeah, good point. And I guess it's also up to people to use their own intuition, to use their savvy. If you're looking at a Twinkie or you're looking at one of these ultra sweet muffins, there is a trade-off. You're having that wonderfully sweet bite. You're shaving off, days of your life with each bite. So just think like that. Just, try and get away from the cult of sugar. Sugar is a killer. I'll tell you, one of the scariest days of my life is when I had a high blood sugar episode and I was rushed to the hospital and I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Sugar is a killer. Sugar is a poison. They've declared war on tobacco. Let's declare war on sugar together right now. Ricky, me and you. 1, 2, 3. I declare sugar war.
Sugar war. If only it wasn't in chocolate.
Yes. And what I always find amusing and ironic is they literally made the tobacco companies beggars. They made them beggars, and they were howling into the wind when they hunted down the tobacco companies. But the sugar companies were smiling. They were full of glee. And I think that we as a society, we need to say, sugar, you're out. Get out of my biscuits. Get out of my popcorn. Get out of my cake. I don't want you in my Foot Pro yogurts or my chocolate milkshakes that I love.
Certainly, sugar in the sports food just seems a bit silly.
Yeah,
it's craziness, but
exactly. I think we nailed a couple useful and good points there, Ricky, and there's something instructive there for our lovely listening viewers to go away with. So, yes, indeed. Thank you all. Back at it with you here. Ricky is in the building with me. Ricky,
I'm in the building.
Yes. And Ricky, I've been out to your wonderful, I guess, farm estate there in Warragul, regional Victoria. That is a beautiful part of the country, I have to say. The rolling hills, the I guess the little cloud cover that comes in the morning and dissipates, or the wonderful little creeks everywhere and the ponds. We've got some wonderful sheep and cows in that part of the country. How is that like? Because I know that's only been a recent thing for you in the last couple of years. But what is that like for someone who's a city kid? How's that affected you in terms of your thinking, your approach to life?
I grew up in the country, so I am. I grew up remote from population centre, so I'm a city kid over the last few years, but certainly grew up out in the country. I like the pattern. Tend to like the pattern of being surrounded by millions of people. So in a city centre for a few days of the week, and then a few days of the week out in the middle of nowhere, just space to just be me, basically. And yeah, that part of Australia, that part of Victoria is just it is a beautiful part of the world. A lot of beautiful townships around there. It's a lot of nice drives around there, a lot of scenery, a lot of holiday destinations for day trip drives in a lot of cases.
There's something magical about just looking up into the sky and seeing the stars really bright.
Yeah, it's a long way from the bright light centres of Melbourne and
the light pollution that we get here. That's just part and parcel of living in a big city. But there's something magical about looking up in the sky and just
the
seeing
blacks. There's nothing like the stars against the deep black.
Yeah. And it is scary too. I remember the first time that I went out into the field to see the stars. I felt it was too quiet. I felt that there was someone lurking just beyond your eyesight. but it's a beautiful thing, and
It's not quite the level of the anechoic chamber, the soundproof room craziness, but it certainly is. You don't get much feedback.
yeah, and you have a chance to think there. I feel like you can hear your thoughts in a better way. I think it'd be easy to become a very introspective and thoughtful person out there, which I think you're on your way to.
Mm. Yeah, well, yeah, there'll be much more your thoughts. But it's, I guess yeah, I enjoy being surrounded by a lot of people, but then I enjoy the space and exactly having your own thoughts. And yeah, it's a very nice thing.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's well said. Well said. I think for those out there who are, perhaps don't have that chance to get out into regional Vic or regional NSW, wherever you are, do take a moment if you can. Like next time you have a spare weekend, see if there is anywhere that you can go out, which is just outside of the city. Take a moment to just have a warm drink and sit out on a patio and look out into the stars, have a good deep conversation. These are good for the soul. This is something that's good for your body, metastasizing your thoughts and really becoming a more fulfilled and aware person. And this is good in any instance. It's good for your relationships, which are all important. We've talked about relationships being the core and the fundamental tenets of a good and fulfilling life. And also it's good for you to relax and unwind, to be able to hear birds chirping, to be able to hear crickets clicking. These are things that are certainly necessary. And if you think about it, in human history, this is how humans would have unwinded for most of all of history. Like our ancestors would have gone to sleep with the sound of crickets chirping. They would have woken up with the sound of birds singing. So we're really one of the first few generations that hasn't had that experience in big doses, at least. So take a moment to incorporate this into your life. This was something that will naturally lower the cortisol and also give you that really nice, warm, fuzzy feeling of being out in a quiet and serene place. So yeah, I definitely can attest to that. It's something that I very much look forward to, and Ricky gets to experience at least once a week.
Yeah. I think for a little while there, I was city a couple of days a week, and then country another few days a week, and in between there'd be a train ride and then a bicycle ride through paddocks in the middle of the night, and that was coming fresh from the city where you're surrounded by millions of people, and then out into the middle of nowhere, just this beautiful nightscape, and you can really feel that clarity coming in. It's a beautiful thing. But I mean, you just notice it. You get it whenever you get it, I guess. It's not like you're always in everyone, busy-minded when you're in the city. There are quiet spaces in the city as well. So
No, exactly.
It just does come very naturally when you're actually not surrounded by anyone or much in the way of civilization.
Yeah, exactly. That's well said. So yep, there we go. That's another wonderful little anecdote and clip there with Ricky, and we will take a break and we'll add more to the story soon. Thanks kindly.